Morning Saints, welcome to the Saints TV YouTube channel. Welcome to Saints TV Weekly for July 25th, 2022. We've got the Inglewood coffee here. Definitely needed after the last week of Saints footy, of moving, and that's where we kick the show off. Just a quick little tour. I've got the Spuds game scarf there. I've got the away Guernsey Jake on the back, thanks to the club, which was a great gift at the start of the year. Then you've got, I think that might be 2010 or 2009 maybe, Guernsey signed. And then the Lenny Hayes, I think it's 2014. Not a great year to remember, but Lenny Hayes nonetheless. Number 7 signed there, and obviously you got Jackie Steele, Rowan Marshall, bobblehead, Saints footy. There is this Batoni Guernsey there, number 9 I wore in the Legends game. I think it was the last home game for Lenny Hayes, and I played in the Legends game before that. And I didn't realise I had the number 9 given to me that day. And then Jack Steele, number 9, captain as well. And then obviously Fraser Gehrig, probably why I picked number 9 at the time, I think. But yeah, that's the new stuff. That's we're still in the process, so bear with me. Still getting things sorted, but we're back. With the desk and not just roaming around, walking around and driving around, talking to the camera. Nice setup. So we kicked the show off straight off the bat. We played the Eagles yesterday and we got the job done. 62-90, 28-point victors. Puts us in 9th position on the ladder. We would have been in the 8, but the Bulldogs won. So they obviously beat Melbourne in a really, really exciting game, and they deserve to be in the 8 with their form. We don't with our most recent form, and the way this was going early, we were a bit worried, and the Eagles were kicking easy goals. We were over-possessing the football and handballing too much, and I think in the end we did even that out. We had 177 handballs to 224 kicks, so that's probably 1.5 kicks to 1 handball type ratio, which is probably too high, but as the game wore on, the second quarter, we kicked 7 goals, which was great. They kicked 4, but we did kick 7. Third term was a stalemate. They had a lot of possession. They had a lot of inside 50s. The defense was under a lot of pressure. But as I mentioned in my review, we stood up. And then in the last quarter, we kicked 4 goals to 1 to secure the win. Jack Steele, 40 disposals, 11 tackles, I think. And then on top of that, Dan Butler, I think a career high, potentially 5 goals. Definitely for the Saints. I don't think he's kicked 5 ever for the Saints. 4 is probably the max, I think, against the Gold Coast in 2020. But he's nailed the 5, got out the back a few times, but it was great to see. He was chasing, he was tackling, he was creating, and he got on the end of a few easy goals, which I think he really did deserve. And his form, this year hasn't been great, but it was great to see him hit some good form yesterday, like a lot of the rest of the team. And special mention to Marcus Winhager, who probably won't get the Rising Star because Jamara Ugle-Hagan kicked 5, but he would have otherwise, I would have thought. He had 23 disposals, was a beast in the midfield, supported Steely beautifully, and he took Tim Kelly out of the game, and he only had the 4 touches for the whole game. Tim Kelly, 23 to Winhager. So we've got a very good player there. And yeah, we did what we needed to do. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't our best football by any means, but we did what we needed to do. And just a heads up for everyone looking out for the player ratings. At the end of this video, we're not going to be doing questions. We're going to get straight into the player ratings. In VFL news, unfortunately, Sandy couldn't continue that winning vibe from the senior boys. A final quarter domination by Port Melbourne saw the margin blow out to, I think it was a record, 51-point loss in a pretty fiery encounter at Trevor Barker Oval. I think the final score here was 72-123, which really does hurt their chances of making top 8 because they were hovering around that 9/10th mark, and this really did hurt their percentage, which we all know too well in the AFL world. So unfortunately, that's happened to them. Tom Highmore had 28 disposals and 9 marks, which was great after being dropped. Tyson Milne as well, special mention, put in a great performance, finished with a goal and 25 disposals with 9 marks. That a massive, up in his levels in VFL, because he's a player that I keep an eye on because I'd love to get him as a father-son for the Sainers, but today it was probably statistically one of his best performances. So that's a great sign in the VFL. Darragh Joyce as well, 21 touches and 6 marks. Dan Hanbury, importantly, 26 disposals, 8 clearances. I think he comes straight back in to play Hawthorn on the weekend. And then Jack Bytel, 20 disposals with 5 tackles. Tom Campbell, Max Heath obviously didn't play. Mitch Owens as well. After 6 weeks away, great to see him return. 24 disposals, 7 clearances, 5 tackles, 2 goals. That is a very, very good return to football, and he might well be in the conversation next week to come back in. Same with Zach Jones. He had 22 disposals, 6 clearances and 6 tackles. And Nasai Wanganeen-Malera, 14 disposals, 6 marks to round it out. So disappointing that they got smashed in the end at Trevor Barker Oval, but I think it's really important that some of those players just got really good minutes into their legs, and that gives us actually a pretty broad selection of players in the last 3 or 4 weeks of the season, and we're going to need that with some of the teams we're playing. Hawthorn's not going to be easy. We've obviously got Geelong still, we've got Brisbane and Sydney again, so it gets harder and harder every week, and if we're going to make finals, we probably need to win 3 of the last 4. If we can win 3 and drop maybe the Geelong game, ideally, because they're in great form and it's in Geelong, that's probably the best case scenario, because the other 3 games are at Marvel. So if we can somehow fix our Marvel form, that'll go a long way for us making finals. And then on top of that, sadly, the news of the injuries to Paddy Ryder and D-Mac, they're basically ruled out for the year. 4 to 6 weeks for both of them, both calf injuries. And that's just unfortunate because they're both very important players for us. But we all know that when Rowe gets the number 1 job on his own, he plays his best football, I think. And he did that yesterday. And then with D-Mac, he's kind of that spiritual leader. We've been down. We've needed him on that wing since the Brisbane game when he went down, and it's no coincidence that in that Brisbane game we were leading at halftime, and then he goes down, and from that point on we've won maybe I think 2 games since then. So it's a bit of a correlation, but it just shows some of those players we don't think are necessarily that important. When they're gone, they really do leave gaping holes in the lineup, and D-Mac's a very important player, and hopefully they can both recover very quickly and hit pre-season very strong. Now, usually it's question time, but we're doing player ratings this week, so we're going to stick the player ratings into Saints TV Weekly. Hopefully you don't mind. Sainers, I know everyone likes a bit of player ratings and also a bit of Saints TV Weekly, but we'll go straight from the top and rank them out of 10. So Brad Crouch, he had the 31 disposals, 11 tackles. I think that was the most. It was the most for a St Kilda player, probably on the ground as well. He was immense. 147 Dream Team points, 5 marks, and he kicked a goal as well. So you can't forget that. That's huge. For me, that's a 9 out of 10 type game. That was massive for Brad Crouch. Jackie Steele, speaking of massive games, 40 disposals, 10 marks, 8 tackles. That was man of the match. Like that to me is probably man of the match. I'd give him, although Dan Butler 5 goals is going to be tricky, but we'll go Steely. Brad Crouch gets a 9. I think Steely probably gets a 10. Ben Long came on for Billings, kicked a goal, only 5 disposals, but he did have 7 tackles. So he had more tackles than disposals. I think that was 3rd most for a St Kilda player, which is awesome. Shows that's kind of the level that we're at. We need him, the level that he's at is that he doesn't get a lot of the ball, but he does chase and tackle and create a lot of chaos. And I think chaos football is our best chance of winning in 2022, and that worked on the weekend with him coming on and doing a good job. So I reckon for Long, 7 tackles, kicked a goal as well when we needed it. That to me is a 7 out of 10 game. I'm really happy with that. 5 disposals only, but he did more than just getting the ball. Marshall, 15 disposals, 49 hit outs. That was a great game for him. I'm giving him a 7 out of 10. I'll give him a 7 out of 10. Patton, I thought was his best game of the year, to be honest. 15 disposals, 4 marks. They're smalls. Liam Ryan looked bad, looked like he was going to cause some serious problems for us early, but he didn't. And I think Patto was very clean with the football. That was the big thing I noticed, was that when he got the football, he didn't just hack it, and he's done that a bit this year. So Patto, great game. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Seb Ross, 27 disposals, 4 tackles, although I think it took him a bit of a while to get going, but when he got going, it really helped us. That's a 7 out of 10 for me as well. Mason Wood, 1 goal, 21 disposals, 4 tackles, 5 marks. Did what he needed to do. Not droppable at all, and just did a really good job on that wing, and supported the rest of the team well. So that to me is a 7 out of 10 as well. Actually, got to go 7 out of 10. Dan Butler, 5 goals, 10 out of 10. Best performance of the year. Most goals he's kicked for us in Saints colours, or maybe in his career. correct me if I'm wrong, Saners, and he chased all day, created goals, and it was 5 goals straight, so love that from Dan Butler. Hunter Clark, 18 disposals, 3 tackles, easing into it still. That's a 6 out of 10 for me. Jade Gresham, only the 14, obviously went off injured, so we're really hoping he's okay. I'll give him a 5 out of 10. Just didn't finish the game, so very hard to judge. Jared Lynott, I thought was okay, 16 disposals. He didn't do anything amazing, but I've always said he doesn't do amazing things. He just does basic things really well, and that's what we need in the back line. So that to me is a 6 out of 10, a solid return without being outstanding. Marcus Winhager, 23 disposals, killed Tim Kelly, was very, very impressive. That is an 8 out of 10 type game for me. That is a Rising Star nomination in any other round. It's just unfortunate that that Jamara kicked 5 against the reigning premiers. Joshy Battle, only the 8 disposals, very quiet, but I thought he wasn't beaten at all. I think Darling, he might have been on Darling at times, or Kennedy, can't remember, but I think he did a solid job without being amazing. That's a 6 out of 10 for me. Brad Hill, 19 disposals, 2 tackles, quietish game by his standards this year, because I think he's actually been quite good. That is a probably a 6 out of 10 just for Brad Hill. Tim Membry, 2 goals, 17 disposals. Very happy with his game. That is a 7 out of 10. Ryan Burns, 18 disposals, but he hacked a lot of the footy. He turned it over a fair bit. So that's a 5 for me, unfortunately, because he got a lot of the ball, but he just didn't use it as best as he probably could. Jack Higgins, 2 goals, 15 disposals, solid game as a small, 7 out of 10. Max King, 2 goals. Was very frustrating to watch at times, but then also he seemed angry, but like he channeled it in a better way. He didn't get angry at himself. He kind of bumped players and chased and tried to tackle. Although he only led the 1 tackle, I think that's part of his game that he'll get better at naturally when his fitness goes up. But he did kick 2 goals, so that's solid. So I'll give Kingy a 6 out of 10. Sinclair, 27, solid game, only the 1 tackle, but was very clean with the football. Last man in defence a lot of the time, the little sweeper keeper. And yeah, can't fault him at all. That's a 8 out of 10 for Sinks. Webster was very good, I thought. 18 disposals, hurt his shoulder, came back on, fought it out. Good game from him. 6 out of 10. Wilkie, 14 disposals, he took the 8 marks, 1 tackle. Felt like a quiet game by his standards, but I thought he did what he needed to do, and we were pretty comfortable in defence, so that's a 7 for me. Billings, no disposals, was off literally the second the game started, so unfortunate there. I'll skip him. And Cooper Sharman, lucky last. 14 disposals and 4 marks. Slowly getting into a rhythm in the back line, I think. So we'll see if that persists, but yeah, there you go. I'll give him a 6 out of 10 as well. So there you go, Sainers. That is Saints TV Weekly / player ratings. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video. Comment your thoughts. Who was your man of the match? What were your thoughts on the game? And any other news that you want to talk about during the week, please comment and I'll respond when I can. And obviously, and importantly, please subscribe to the channel. We're nearly on 3,900, pushing the edge there. And I'd love to get to 4,000 by this time next week would be amazing. Bit of a challenge there, but we'll see if that happens. And yeah, Saints TV podcast will be out tonight. We'll do the preview for the Hawthorn game on Thursday when the teams drop. And yeah, we'll be pumping out the content as usual. But until then, Sainers, enjoy the rest of your week. Grab a cuppa, watch the replay, enjoy a win. Even though it was against West Coast, it doesn't matter. A win against West Coast is as good as beating a top team. It doesn't matter. It's 4 points at the end of the day, and we're still a chance to make finals, and that's the most important thing at the moment. So enjoy the rest of your week, Sainers. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, go you mighty Sainers. See you guys.